Good evening from Wales, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling, insight news, and reviews on a daily basis. We are only 3 weeks away from the Royal Rumble Premium Live event, and I, for one, am very, very excited about it. It is definitely an unpredictable one this year, but we are going to try and predict it here today, but of course, and you might have caught a glimpse of them a second ago, on today's show we have a great panel, and let's kick things off with the Tuesday Night Delight on a Friday. How are you, Shad?
What is going on, Ben? I am doing splendid. Coming off of the brinks of a snowstorm in the DMV, everything's looking better, although I heard it might snow tomorrow, so hopefully it doesn't. But I'm good here, man.
Yeah, hopefully not. Those snowstorms certainly, are an absolute nightmare to deal with. Also joining us today with John Cena's number one fan, Jordy In The Bank. How are you?
I'm great. I actually love that I'm being referred to as that, and let it carry on all year, and actually beyond the year, when I'm in mourning of Cena's career. But no, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah, I had a few snowstorms myself at the start of the week, but it's all settled down now here in Cumbria. So yeah, can't complain, mate. Can't complain. Ready to talk about the Royal Rumble?
Absolutely, it's going to be a fun one, and like I said, we're only a couple of weeks away, and this year it is potentially the most unpredictable that it has been in years and years and years. So, I mean, that is just brilliant, because the worst thing as a wrestling fan is when something is very, very predictable. The unpredictability of it is undoubtedly welcome, but I'm going to be honest, sitting here today, I'm still not entirely sure on who I think is going to win the Royal Rumble, but I am going to give, I guess, my early prediction. But before I do, Jordy, I'm going to pass it to you. Who do you think will win the men's Royal Rumble, and then we'll do the women's Royal Rumble after?
It's very unpredictable. I think there's obviously names like Roman Reigns in there. CM Punk is definitely going to be in there. I think he's made that very clear. One thing that I will say, I think Heyman might end up getting Roman number 30 and CM Punk calling in the favour and taking that number 30 off Roman. I feel like that could be a potential storyline. But prediction for who's going to win it, I'm going to say John Cena. Do I actually think it's going to happen? I don't know. Would I put money on it? Maybe not. I'm going to say it now because I'm going to manifest it and I'm going to speak it into existence. So when John Cena does win the Royal Rumble, I've got an issue with this actually. No, I'm still going to say John Cena, but he has made it pretty clear that he's going to be in the chamber. And why would he be in the chamber if he's in the Rumble? I'm going to say Drew. I'm going to change up. I'm going to go Drew McIntyre. Wow. Just because I want him to win a title this year. I want him to win at Mania and it not to get stole out of his hands. I want him to have that moment and have it proper. And because, Cena has kind of said that he's going to be in the chamber. Why do you need to be in the chamber if you're going to win the Rumble? So let's go with Drew.
That is a very fantastic pick, no doubt about it. Definitely a bit of a unique one. He's not necessarily somebody whose name's been thrown about when it comes to talking about this year's Royal Rumble, but certainly something that I would welcome. Of course, last year at WrestleMania, he did hold the world title for a very short period of time before, of course, Damian Priest did cash in. What about you, Shad? Who is your prediction for the men's Rumble?
Well, first and foremost, I absolutely love that Jordy was debating amongst himself in that pick. It's just going one way, but going another way. This one's tough, man. And like you said, I think it's the fact that we have we don't know. There's so many different situations can go. I feel like the men's side is a little bit more clear cut in my opinion, just because I think there are people that are streamlined within storylines. And with that being said, if Jordy is not going to pick John Cena, then I will also not pick John Cena. I'm going to go with CM Punk. I feel like 2025 is the year of CM Punk. I feel like last year would have been a pretty close call if he may have not gotten hurt to win the Rumble. But you think about WrestleMania, you think about main eventing, and I feel like CM Punk is a punch ticket into main eventing at WrestleMania, because I think the direction is going to be CM Punk versus the ring general Gunther. I think that is going to be one of our WrestleMania main event matches. I think we will see CM Punk hold gold at Vegas. So I'm going with Punk winning the Rumble.
Wow. There we are. 2 other picks, right? One, Shad, you're saying CM Punk. Jordy, you're saying Drew McIntyre. Very, very different. Numero 1 is saying for the men's, he thinks it is going to be for sure John Cena, and we are going to have Cody versus John Cena at WrestleMania. For the women's, he reckons it's going to be Charlotte. We'll get into that in just a second. Rosario, shout out to you, is saying Cena winning the Royal Rumble would be amazing. No doubt about it. I mean, it really is open this year. But I'm beginning to have a bad feeling, guys. I'm beginning to have a very, very bad feeling that somebody's going to win the Rumble.
No, he's not. He's not. Don't say it.
I think it's going to be Logan Paul.
I knew you were going to say that. Don't say that.
Whoa.
I'm beginning to have a bad feeling after this week's Raw on Netflix. The fact that they showed him after that Gunther package. I've seen a few people, tweeted online, and I'm thinking to myself now, right, if The Rock's not going to be there, then I'm presuming they're going to do Roman Reigns. I mean, I don't know really, though, because then what would they do for... No, but then what would they do for Seth? I
think John Cena and Logan is going to be the play. I think they'll knock each other out of the Rumble somehow, then end up. I think Logan will definitely be in the chamber again because of how viral his video went of him in the chamber, so they'll want him in there again. Cena's kind of said he's going to be in there. I think they'll cost each other again, so they say, right, okay, let's sort this out at Mania 1-on-1, and then my only thing is I think Cena could well win the title. Now he's kind of teased it. I don't think he'll do it 4 months in. I know it's Mania. I fully appreciate
Logan
that.
Paul winning the Royal Rumble might be one of the biggest facepalm moments for WWE and Triple H's regime, in my opinion. It goes against a lot of what he's course corrected from the old regime in regards to making everything a spectacle. But to your point, this past Monday was a little bit of a celeb fest. So I mean, I saw more TV time for Macaulay Culkin than I've seen for people on the mid cards. No.
We are in a weird situation here, though, right? Where we obviously have Rollins, Punk, and Reigns, who are currently kind of all without WrestleMania plans, right? So presumably 2 of them are going to face each other, whether or not it's Rollins versus Punk or Punk versus Reigns. But then what are you going to do with the other person? So you know what? Maybe I'm going to take back my prediction, right? And I might be wrong about this, but I'm really hoping we get Punk versus Rollins at WrestleMania. So you know what? No, I don't. Screw it. Roman Reigns is going to win the Rumble. We're going to have Roman Reigns Gunther for the world title. Because otherwise, what are you going to do with Roman?
The Rock? Perhaps.
But The Rock's not going to be there, is he?
I know, it does look that way. Yeah, it certainly does look that way.
The big thing with the main event champions is the fact that there's people on the outside that may be more popular than the actual champions. People like Roman, people like CM Punk, people like Seth Rollins, and
Sammy, Jay, even them people, you've seen how quickly the crowd can get behind Sammy, especially imagine him going for a world title shot against Gunther at Mania, being like, you tripped up on me last year. This time it was a different title, but it's going to be the same result.
Jay Uso is a very popular figure. I just don't know if they see him in ring wise to be a world champion. Like
Yeah.
him as a tag team wrestler is one of the greatest tag team wrestlers. I've not been moved by Jey Uso as a singles competitor. He's not a demon in the singles department.
I think
Gun
there's an issue with
demon,
Jay.
Sammy's go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it's it's one of these things you see it like I compare it to like football, and some people they always turn up in the cup finals, and they can kind of make a reputation. Like even if they don't turn up that much week on week, they turn up in the big games, and I feel like Jey Uso versus Drew was an opportunity to do that, and that of the 4 matches didn't feel like it felt a bit flat on Monday night. Jimmy versus Jey at WrestleMania was another opportunity to do that, and it felt like it fell a little bit flat. I think Jay's best matches in the singles department have been against Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love Jey Uso, and there was something special that the chemistry they had with them being family was something you can't recreate. But Roman can put on a fantastic match with anyone. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But when you leave Jay on his own to tell a story, he's great at telling the story on the build-up, but it feels like at the minute when he's been given that main stage to perform, apart from beating Braun, that was a great moment. It just feels like there's been a couple of times where it's fell flat, and if he'd have done unbelievable five-star matches in them situations, then he could be like, wow, world champion now, but he doesn't, it seems.
Yeah, no, I think you are right, Jordy. Certainly, that does make a lot of sense. I mean, it is just this road to WrestleMania is so unpredictable, and I think that is a really, really great thing. But now let's go on to the Women's Royal Rumble, because I do have a lot stronger of a prediction for this one. I think there is only going to be one person who it even could be. Well, I think there's 2 options, but I think they're going to go for one, and that one is big time Becky Lynch. I am almost dead set convinced that she is going to win this Royal Rumble. We didn't see her show up on Raw on Netflix, so to me it only makes sense we do see her on the Royal Rumble PLE. But what about you, Shad? What is your prediction?
I kind of want to cause a little bit of chaos right now. I kind of want the world to be thrown off by something, because obviously this is a tough one. There's a lot of women in the main event scene, and you look at the 2 champions. There is one woman who is the new crown champion on SmackDown, the GOAT, Tiffany Stratton. On the other end, you have the, Rhea Ripley just winning back. So we got 2 new champions. Part of me is just on the fence where, is this Rumble winner going to be one that will succeed, or is it a Rumble winner that's going to help put somebody over? And I'm kind of leaning off of that. But on the contrary, we could also, there's 2 new titles. There's an IC title. There's a US title. Like, there's a lot of titles for someone to go for, but it would make sense to go for one of the main titles. I am going out on a limb, and I think this is the money match that people have been wanting to see. This is a legend in the right versus the up and coming person that kind of rivals her style. And I think it is going to be the Queen, Charlotte Flair, that will win the Royal Rumble, because I think Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, to me, is the one for certain WrestleMania match that feels like it's box office. With Rhea, we can revisit Becky, but does that move me that much? Not as much, just because I've seen it before. EO, I would love that. That would be the one that you can book me to want to see. But I don't know if EO is as much of a box office match as Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton, just because it's so new, it's so fresh, it's something that just kind of gets everyone anticipating to see it. And just stylistically, man, like we said, Charlotte Flair, say what you want to say about the Queen. The woman is one of the best in-ring wrestlers of all time. Like, her athleticism, her technical prowess, all of it is second to none. And you look at someone like Tiffany Stratton, who's a premier athlete, who's really stepped up on the in-ring wise, meaning so much to go against Flair, and you have that sense of like, well, will Charlotte get that title back? Will she keep stacking up these records on her behalf? Or will Tiffany beat a horsewoman at the biggest show in the world, WrestleMania, is something that I feel is box office. So I'm going with Charlotte Flair.
A very solid shout indeed. That was the other name which I was referencing, which I think is potentially a possibility. I've made my final decision, guys, on the men's rumble. I'm doing it again. I've made my final prediction now. Randy Orton. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania. Orton returns from injury and decides that Kevin Owens is right after being taken out by him for months and ends up turning heel on Cody. And that's the direction for Mania. It's the only thing which makes a little bit of sense, but I'm going to be honest, I still can't get my head around a WrestleMania without The Rock after fantasy booking this Mania for 12 months with The Rock in it. But Jordy, in the women's division, who is your pick?
In the women's division, it's hard because there's a few names. Like I would love to see Bianca and Rhea at Mania. I absolutely would. So to have Bianca win, but I mean, I'm also wasn't born yesterday. This Jade storyline looks like it's timing wise. It'll probably wrap up around Mania, and it'll be a great kind of payoff, whatever happens. Or she'll be defending the tag belts. So kind of have to rule Bianca out. Io Sky's another great one. I don't want to say the same as you, Ben, but it probably leaning towards Becky Lynch purely because, right, we're looking obviously this Mania and we're going to talk about it in a second in terms of Netflix and maybe going to have new eyes on it that weren't there. You want people that you guarantee are going to put on bangers. And you're absolutely right in what you said, Shad. Charlotte and Tiffany would as well, but Becky and Tiffany have. That I think that might be slightly the difference in what maybe when they're looking at it and booking and looking at the bangers that Becky and Tiffy have already had and be like, you know what, we could put that at Mania, we could run that back, not on NXT, on the main roster, and I would love to see it. So yeah, I'm probably going to go with Becky.
So y'all got me being the person that's a big Becky fan, not picking Becky. And both of y'all gonna pick Becky. Is there an agenda over here for me? I
didn't pick Cena either, brother. I didn't. Sometimes you don't pick the people you're rooting the most for.
I don't know what's going on, man. Becky, don't be mad at me. You are rightfully the GOAT in my eyes, but you don't need to win a Royal Rumble, in my opinion. You don't need to.
What about Roxanne Perez?
Oh my God, that moves me a lot.
I would love. I maybe not win, but I want to see it. I want to see her put a good account of herself out because was it 2 years ago or last year? I'm sure.
Let her win.
So I think she will, and I think it'll be great for her. So yeah, let her win. Let her win. Let's pick Roxanne.
There's one person that really, really, really moves me, but it's not going to happen because she's already tied to a belt. It is Bianca Belair because I think Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley is that's like Austin versus Rock.
Yeah.
Levels of monumental figures in the women's division going against each other at Mania. That's something that needs to be built up. If obviously maybe next year we go into this, but like y'all gotta capitalize on these big time matches, man. But yeah, I got Charlotte Flair. I'm not even a big Charlotte Flair fan, so hopefully Tiffany squashes her.
Sean Ellis says that he thinks Jacob Fatu is going to win. I mean, that would be absolutely nuts, but I would love to see it. Rosario is saying Becky versus 3 would be great. Gunther's reign has been underwhelming. Who's facing him at... I mean, I can't even... I've had a complete brain fart on air because I was convinced it was going to be Gunther and Logan Paul, and now I'm actually... we might end up going into Mania with the 2 men's title matches being two of the least notable men's matches.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's gotta be main event.
We're not gonna talk about it on this show. We might need to have a conversation about Gunther's reign because I think Rosario has a little bit of validity in that comment.
He does.
Yeah.
I mean, the big issue was, right, they had a reign with him being the Intercontinental Champion and holding it like a world championship. They did it for multiple years and then he dropped the title. Within a few months, he's now trying to do the exact same thing with the World Championship that we've just seen him do with the Intercontinental Championship. And you can't repeat things that quickly. There wasn't enough of a gap between them. And also, they've not really given him that many notable challengers or really any good storylines too. So they backed themselves in a corner big time. Calvin saying they're probably not going to be in the men's rumble, but do you see Theory eliminating Waller or Waller eliminating Theory? I mean, I think Waller's going to be the one to turn heel. I think they're trying to turn Theory face.
I don't care. Honestly, I don't. I one of them. I hope they do. Regarding Gunther, though, I think as well a case of misdirection that absolutely we love in wrestling and wasn't there when they announced Bash in Berlin. I think we all went, "Oh well, Gunther's going to be champion there." So like we all knew he was going to become champion before he was even champion, and that's a little bit underwhelming anyway. Quick late shout for the Royal Rumble. Could be Nia Jax. I saw that she was on the promos. She was on the advertising when they did a little video teaser earlier today.
I'm good on that. Respectfully.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. A3 says, Io, Nia, Shayna, Sonya, Liv. They deserve to win the Women's Rumble, to be honest. Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman at WrestleMania is teased.
A3, there is only one person on that list that I would say, yeah, and that's Io. Liv and Nia were champions, so I don't really earn to see them back at it. Shayna and Sonya don't deserve to win the Royal Rumble.
No,
I'm sorry.
Not right now. Certainly not right now.
PFC 3-5 don't deserve it. Anyways, let's go to the next time.
Absolutely. Let's move on now, guys, to talk about WWE on Netflix, specifically WWE Raw on Netflix, because we have the ratings in now, right? We're not going to get them every week, but WWE and Netflix issued a special press release for the first edition, and they revealed that globally 4.9 million people watched it live, all within an hour of it going off the air, which is crazy globally. But in the United States, 2.6 million people watched it, which is 1.1 million higher than the last week on cable. So a lot of people, including, people who are shareholders in WWE, well, I should say TKO now, did have concerns that it leaving cable could lead to a loss in viewership in the United States. Clearly, that is not going to be the case. But what is absolutely crazy about the 4.9 million figure is that is only live and the hour after, whereas most countries that WWE is available on Netflix on now, it was the middle of the night when Raw aired. So the actual number, according to Forbes, is predicted between 10 to 15 million within the first 24 hours. That is huge. That is amazing. But what is also amazing is if you add India's numbers on top of it, which is an additional 8 million, and then the other few TV deals they have around the world, overall, you are looking at between 20 to 25 million people globally watch this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, which is absolutely crazy to me. Jordy, talk to me about this.
That's huge. It doesn't shock me in a sense, but it does. The numbers are shocking. But when you bang a drum loud enough, and WWE certainly did, and Netflix did, they advertised it as a PLE essentially, didn't they? Look like, for wrestling fans, I think the payoff was we got to see Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, because how long have we been wanting to see that? Look, like the rest of the matches were good. It was good to see the Rock's appearance was by the by, but the matches were good. Roman and Solo were good, but all these matches we've kind of seen them before. Seth and CM Punk was for us wrestling fans, and I think it was obviously at the end. My question is, well, not my question. What I'm more wondering about is when you look in a year's time, when we sit here a year down the line and we say how many have they pulled in per week? Because I always knew this first one was going to be huge. It was a monumental, historic night that people turned out for in the stadium, and people turned out to watch. There's probably people that I know that haven't watched wrestling in years that have watched it. Have they done enough to keep them coming back in, week out? That's the real question, and that's what we're not going to know until time goes on. But yeah, it's huge numbers.
Absolutely. Yeah, you are right, of course, because it was a special edition episode. It is realistically possible that maybe next week all these people don't tune in. But as long as it's in that Netflix top 10 every week, I mean, that is the big thing. And NXT was as well. NXT, I think, internationally, I should say, I think was like number 3 in the UK the next day. I mean, if they can get Raw in the top 10 each and every week, more viewers are going to tune in to WWE programming, undoubtedly, which is just nuts. And it's exciting to see, isn't it? It really, really
Oh
is.
yeah, 100%. It's 100%. Even just to see, even just getting to select John Cena as my icon on Netflix is great. So like, and also just a tiny. Shad, let me finish, man. Let me finish. This is actually relevant to production. Did you notice how high quality that little scene with Roman and Paul was? By the way, during Raw, it was like I was like, whoa, okay, this is like really high quality production, and I think we're going to see a little bit more of that as time goes on as well.
Absolutely, the production levels were off the charts. I mean, that was definitely the best part of the Raw Netflix for me personally.
Sure.
MDB 999 says British Clark. No, it's me.
Is it? Oh, right,
yeah. It's me, yeah. He calls me British Clark.
But more importantly,
Clark hosted it.
I love you, Solo.
But Melissa is in the chat. Shout out to you, Melissa. But yeah, I mean, Sean Ellis saying Pippa Niven to win the Women's Royal Rumble. Well, sorry, that's his want. I mean, I'd be good with that, but it won't happen. No way.
Chelsea versus Piper maybe at Mania, I think, is a more likely scenario.
Yeah. No, potentially too. Calvin Houston is saying it's Triple H's fault you don't care about A-Town Down Under. You're also not wrong there.
Yeah.
The booking has been... Oh, Jordy, you're the Northern British Clark.
All right. Okay. All right. Cool.
But now let's move on, shall we? Let's move on to talk to you guys about a little platform, which is going to be a big platform very soon, called Etsy. Etsy, right, is a platform which basically allows us to get more connected with you guys. You guys can come on stream with us and have a conversation with us. Tomorrow on the daily broadcast, we are going to be revealing, so actually, no, I do know this now, this has just been revealed, some breaking news almost, but at 12 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday, which is 9 p.m. Pacific, and in the UK that is 5 p.m. just UK time, you can go onto the Etsy app, right? You just download it from the App Store or Google Play Store. You can see the icon there. You can join it, and you can go over to the live section and join the stream, and you guys can have some arguments with Clark. Clark is going to be there. You can put your hand up. You can come on. You can talk. You can interact. It's like the daily, basically, apart from you can interact with us as well. It's kind of like a Twitter space almost, but it really manages to, connect fans. You can have discussions about wrestling. It is absolutely great. So download the Etsy app on the App Store or Google Play Store and head to the upcoming stream section Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, and 5 p.m. UK time. And Clark will be in there, and you guys can ask him anything, argue something about him, tell him why you think Cody is the best wrestler out there. But yeah, once again, download the Etsy app on the App Store. It's completely free as well. But now let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about Hulk Hogan, because he really is the talk of the I guess, IWC town right now, because we did a poll, and this poll was with almost 3,000 wrestling fans after this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, and 77% of these almost 3,000 fans said that they want WWE to stop using Hulk Hogan after the reaction he got this week. Shad, I want to get your thoughts on this one.
Oh, man. The fans spoke, and the fans should be heard. That's kind of where I'm at. Hulk Hogan in 2025 is not needed in the WWE universe on our weekly televisions. We can respect Hulk Hogan's legacy of what he's accomplished in the WWE, his match, all of that. That is fine and dandy. But if we are talking about the man that is Hulk Hogan in the WWE now, after everything that he's done, after what Terry Bollea has done, as Sean Ellis has said, you need to separate that, man. He's not a good individual. The fans, wrestling is so different now. We don't live as much of kayfabe where we're eating our vitamins and saying our prayers to what he's doing, right? This is a different landscape of pro wrestling. This is a portion where we are knowing the people in the pro wrestling world, and we're getting the gist of who they are. And his track record is not good, man. He's done a lot of stuff in regards to being a racist, literally saying that he's a racist on a phone call that was leaked, saying just absolutely asinine and disgusting stuff. I don't care about political affiliations at all, but promoting your beer with former members of racist groups that are white supremacists, like, why would anybody in their right mind want to cheer or root for that person? Your footprint is always there, what you post online and what you do and whatnot. We can track on everything, and I know a lot of people like to complain about it, but when it's that bad, what's the point of it, man? Don't you have people that are kids that want to root for people that are great entertainers and performers, but you also want to watch and root for people that are good people at the end of the day. When he's that bad of a person, it's not worth it at all. So no, Hulk Hogan is not needed. I don't know where they thought people enjoyed him as an individual. Now it's irrelevant. The most viral thing that they had was he got booed off stage. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you are right. He certainly did get booed off stage, no doubt about it. MD saying WWE should use Hulk Logan instead of Hulk Hogan. I mean, Sean Ellis is saying he should be nowhere near a WWE live event. I do completely agree with you there as well, because, I mean, listen, the fact is, he said a lot of stuff. He did a lot of stuff. A lot of people involved. I mean, Mark Henry this week trashed him, saying that his apology, he didn't think he meant it when the cameras were all there. After, of course, all that stuff before. I don't think you can just forget something and move on, right? You can, try and improve yourself and move on and try and make amends. But has this man really made amends?
No, when that phone, and I know this isn't really wrestling related, but when that phone call leaked, everything he said in a private conversation is how you genuinely talk behind closed doors, and that's how you genuinely feel. When you actively say you're a racist and say horrible things about an individual, and how you disapprove and just say just completely gross, disgusting things in this world, you're a piece of garbage. And Hulk Hogan is a piece of garbage. We don't need him on our TV screens whatsoever.
Yeah, I do completely agree with you. And I do think, sometimes, people can change and stuff. But like I said, I don't think we've seen anything from him which actually suggests he's changed. And everybody in the know kind of has said the same thing, that he hasn't really changed.
He wants to look like he's changed when he has to sell some beer, but he hasn't, has he? Let's be honest.
Unfortunately, that does seem.
He said he was going to do a wrestling move on our still current vice president, who is a woman, as a joke. He thinks that a domestic violence towards a woman is some sort of joke, whether he feels a political view of it or not. He is a scumbag dude, yo. Like, his track record ain't good.
And I mean, it is. I think a lot of people said that, it was just because of his political views that he got booed. But let's not forget that Undertaker has got, the same political views, did a podcast, in fact, promoting that person. And then he was getting tons and tons of cheers. So I don't think it's really his political views he was being booed for. I think it's his track record in recent times, for sure. But now let's move on to the weekend preview, shall we? Let's kick things off with Friday Night SmackDown tonight, 3 hours once again, and we have a big match, a United States Championship match. We have LA Knight, taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. And not only that, but the new WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, will be addressing the WWE Universe. Then we move forward to this week's episode of AEW Collision tomorrow night, and we have Adam Copeland in action as he's going to be taking on Big Bill. That one could be a fun one, that is for sure. We also have Ring of Honor champion Chris Jericho in a non-title match against Dax Harwood. And just in case that isn't enough, we have one of the most underrated people in professional wrestling right now, somebody who has improved so much as of late, Harley Cameron taking on Mariah May in a non-title match as well. A lot of non-title matches, and Adam Copeland, now known as Cope, in action as well. And in typical fashion, my tab has closed for the New Japan show, but here we are, we got it back up now. The card for New Japan Pro Wrestling's Battle in the Valley, which also takes place tomorrow, is this. In the main event, we have the New Japan Strong Openweight title on the line, as just over a week after losing to Kenny Omega at the Tokyo Dome, Gabe Kidd will be defending the title against Tomohiro Ishii. We will also have a New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team title match as the West Coast Wrecking Crew take on Roppongi Vice. That is going to be fun. Also, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be taking on Hechicero once again. These two have got a storied history now, and they have bangers every single time they step in the ring with each other. But talking about bangers, we've got an IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match as El Desperado defends against Taiji Ishimori. And this is what's going to be the real banger. The Never Openweight Championship is on the line as Konosuke Takeshita defends against Kushida. Woo, that one is going to be brilliant, and the bangers don't stop there as the New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV title will be on the line as ELP defends against Jeff Cobb. We've then also got House of Torture taking on Hiromu Takahashi, Mayu Iwatani, and Yuka Sakazaki as well. I mean, I'm going to be honest, anything to do with House of Torture, I'm not really interested in at all. Additionally, we got an 8-woman eliminate. Sorry, that was mixed, and of course this one's also mixed. We got a mixed a man and woman elimination tag match as Anna J. Izumi, Ronnie Robbie, Trisha Dora will take on. No, that's not mixed. These notes are all wrong. But then there's a women's 8-man tag team match as well. It's a long card. There's a lot of wrestling on it, and the 6-man tag team match of House of Torture, that one is mixed, which really threw me off because I wasn't expecting it. But it's going to be a banger, no doubt. Jordy, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
I'm looking forward to certainly watching SmackDown, and I'm going to see Tiffy out there. But you know what? Shad, I'll let you talk about Tiffy time because I feel like it's only right. I'm looking forward to something you didn't announce, Ben, and it's not been announced yet, but I'm looking forward to whatever our greatest ever Women's United States champion does tonight on SmackDown. I'm sure it'll be iconic and historic, and kind of record breaking in the first ever. So that stands out for me. And of course, you know I'm an LA Knight guy, so I'd love for him to win, but probably isn't going to.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I can't disagree with you on that one. American MTB is saying American Clark would have had the right notes. Oh gosh, he's not letting me live this down, is it?
That's
to
just
clarify,
Clark.
I will. Yeah, normal Clark. I will clarify this quickly because I did botch this one. It's a 6 mixed tag team match as Hiromu Takahashi is teaming up with Mayu Iwatani and Yuka Sakazaki to take on Evil and Show of House of Torture along with Sumi Sakai. And the reason that confused me is it's, of course, on one team, 2 men and 1 woman, and on the other one, it's 1 man and 2 women. It just threw me off for a second. My head was still in WWE and AEW mode where you can't be in the ring at the same time, and I was completely flustered because it's also uncharted territory for New Japan as well. They were only recently started mixing with the Stardom roster. But Shad, what about you? What are you excited for this weekend?
Man, I know you said you were going to let me talk about Tiffany. Salute to Tiffany. I'm sure she'll do great stuff. SmackDown should be fun. Let's talk about New Japan. Let's talk about that card that you just announced because this card moves me, man. The Battle at the Valley cards are always lit. Konosuke Takeshita versus Kushida is an absolute banger that is going to happen. Takeshita has been on a bit of a run, and I feel like he's significantly like showing out more outside of AEW. I feel like the level of matches that he's had in New Japan have been great. Kushida to me is one of the guys who super underrated. I've always loved his work in any promotion that he's been on. That's going to be amazing. But we talked about this gentleman on Sunday Spotlight, and we'll hear more in the detail. Gabe Kidd is transcending in the world of professional wrestling and coming off of the brinks of having match of the year. I know the year is early, but they set the bar high with him and Omega last week. As much love we give Kenny Omega, it takes two to tango. And Gabe Kidd put on a world-class performance last week against Kenny Omega. To go against Big Tom Ishii, that's gonna be crazy, man. I'm super stoked for those two matches, as well as ZSJ versus Hechicero. Those guys have great, crazy chemistry, and you said Mayu Iwatani's gonna be on the card, bro. I don't think there's anybody who wrestles better than Mayu Iwatani in the world right now, Ben. That woman is an absolute demon. The work that she does is just so crazy. She may have some of the most smoothest transitions out of any women's wrestler out there. Wrestlers in general, bro. Like she's one of them ones, man.
You're completely right about that, but at the same time, she is facing House of Torture, so I've got zero hope in that match.
It's gonna be a torture to watch.
Who knows? Maybe she could be the one. Maybe
one last thing though
to flip us. Yeah.
One last thing though, I love that you have acknowledged Harley Cameron in the positive light because that woman is an absolute gem. Like the promo exchange with her and Mariah made on Dynamite, and then her little song that she had. Super talented woman. Super talented woman. It's gonna be sad that she's probably gonna get beat bad on Saturday by Mariah May. But I like the chemistry between those two. It's gonna be a fun TV match.
Absolutely, that is for sure. Hopefully, she gets more and more opportunities in 2025, and more people start talking about her. MDB999 in the chat is saying she is one of the best parts of AEW right now. I mean, I do. I mean,
hey man, you give a lot of y'all give a lot of credit to Chelsea Green. I feel like Harley Cameron is cut from the same type of cloth, where she's able to really maximize whatever they give her. The woman is talented. Like I don't.
Shad.
Oh, is that what you said? That she's cut from the Chelsea Green Club?
Allison analysis, yeah.
Oh, well, I agree with you, bro. I'm just double down on what you say. Don't worry. But she can actually sing though. Like I don't think people realize it. Like I saw that.
True.
I don't know if it dropped yet. I saw that she put it on her Twitter. Her new theme song is like legitimately a song that she made. That's like
she's a singer. Like that was
she's.
I think that she's cut from the same cloth as Chelsea Green.
I think she's more talented than Chelsea Green too.
Hey, come on now. Is
she by any chance, guys, also cut from the same cloth as Pretty Deadly as well? I mean, if you know,
I can see that.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, I'm
joking. Can they sing? Like I've never heard them sing. Are they singers?
They can sing. Yeah. No, they're not singers, but they can sing. Yeah.
I need to.
I bet.
When is this music?
Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron is actually like professional level. She's unbelievable.
When is this musical dropping already, man?
Soon, hopefully.
They need to sign Harley Cameron. WWE need to sign Harley Cameron we need to open the forbidden door just for the Pretty Deadly the musical. Because Tony Khan and Triple H, right? If there's going to be one thing which brings them together, it's Pretty Deadly the musical. Everybody wants to see it.
I can see that.
Not one. But that does bring us, guys, to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Shad. Thank you to Jordy for joining me here today. We will be back the same time, same place tomorrow to talk to you guys about Friday Night SmackDown. And don't forget to download Itzy because Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UK time, you can argue with Clark. See you guys then. Ba 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 ba. Peace.